Hi everyone. I'm currently back at the park. Today's my off day, newfound off day actually. It's a long story, but anyway, as to what am I gonna do? Now that I'm on off day, so obviously I'm here at this park. I'm gonna make some content for this channel about narcissistic abuse, narcissism, and mental health issues. Today's video is about the topic of narcissists and their relationship to social media. So I believe that this topic has been talked about a lot. And now I think we all know that there's this very popular theory, or I mean, it's not even a theory anymore. It's almost accepted for a fact that a lot of social media influencers are pretty much narcissist, or if not, they are narcissistic. You have a lot of these cases where a lot of them are just like throwing around words, like sometimes big words, and they string them together so that they give them the very strong sense that they are so good in this new language or whatever, although in truth they aren't really that good. so uh, but I don't think that is exactly the case of how we look out or detect for narcissism. Okay, this video I'm going to actually talk a little bit more about how narcissists, how they actually behave in relation to social media, and also possible ways by which we can actually detect them. So one thing that we all know is that narcissists are all about their false selves. Yeah, the false selves. So because they're not true, you would not expect to see them talking about they're very vulnerable or emotionally, yeah, they're emotionally vulnerable and weak sides. With a lot of narcissists, what we see is a lot of this this so-called positive image, where they're always living the high life, they are always doing this and that. I think that a part of it has to do with social media in itself, because social media is never really about it's not about showing the bad things, or the the weaker or the more vulnerable sides to ourselves. And I mean, it's true, because a lot of us, let's just say that when we actually lose, touch wood, but just knock on wood, but let's say that we lose something that's very close to us, and or someone very close, or when we get into some accident, very few of us actually brag about it. I mean, why would we not want to brag about something in which we end up getting disadvantaged or getting hurt? It's not common, and unless we're going to get some kind of sympathy, and like pity points, but it's really rare. And so I think that the one thing that we can probably comfortably say is that a lot of us, on social media, we tend to actually do things like that, bragging about the good things about ourselves. Using that to actually hard to sort of like detect for signs of narcissism isn't always so reliable. But I'm talking more in line with some things about how narcissists behave on social media. Okay, from my personal experience with my last ex and the various other people, such as the flying monkeys and many other people whom I regard to be at least narcissistic, if not suffering from narcissistic personality disorder. The common thing that you will find is that a lot of them have multiple social media accounts. Yeah, I'm serious. And very often on the same one platform, they have a few multiple accounts, and you'll be surprising. I mean, you'll be surprised. I'm not saying that everyone who has multiple accounts is therefore a narcissist. It's not what I'm actually saying. But what I'm going to say is that that sometimes a lot of these narcissists, they have one main account where they project themselves as for their business or their main personal life, how good it is. But on the flip side, there are so many other accounts, and some of these other accounts are not even accounts featuring their real selves. They could be putting, or I mean, yeah, it could be their real faces, but they could be having different names, and different names, different identities, and it's crazy. You'll be wondering, why do you do that? You mean, on the one hand, for example, let's just say that you can have this on this social media account. Your name can it's very common among men, but sometimes women do that too. And trust me, it's not even surprising anymore to me, because on you have, like, let's say this, let's just give one example. This girl, I mean, the name is fictional. I'll just say maybe Julia. Yeah, Julia. She has a main social account which she brags about her life. She's like living life, traveling around the world, like she's desired by so many guys and blah blah blah, yada yada yada. And she is in those high class posh restaurants and stuff. Okay, that's one aspect of the main life. But on the flip side, there are so many other different accounts, and on these different accounts, she might or might not put up her real photos. It can be actually of real photos, but she has a different identity, a different name. Maybe she gives herself the name of Juliana or Gloria, and then she has a whole new life, a whole new identity, and you'd be wondering, why are they doing that kind of stuff? But the main reason why they're having so many multiple accounts is because they want to have this multiple sources of supply. And when you have so many multiple sources of supply, there's always the risk that you get found out. And to prevent yourself from being exposed, the best way is to actually assume all these fake identities. I mean, I'm not saying that it will not get discovered, it will ultimately all be exposed, but it just takes time. Yeah, but still, for them, it's just the mindset that, oh, if I have a different identity, a different account, it's a fake account, whatever, I can go around, getting all this getting all these other supplies and all these sex partners and whatever who I'm cheating with, and I can continue doing it for as long as I can until I get discovered. So yeah, they have multiple accounts, and beyond that, of course, they have this thing about hidden apps. Yeah, I mean, the second point was about the hidden apps. A friend of mine used to tell me, oh, I can't get it with this friend of mine is very funny, but I was talking to him about this, and I mean, because that friend of mine was he's a friend from high school, and he's actually openly gay. He was telling me, I can't get it with gay guys. He was talking about his circle of friends in his in his so-called scene, and he said, I can't get it with gay guys who actually pretend to be someone else, have alternative accounts and pretend to be this and that. But I said, but are you aware that there are people who actually have been hiding their apps that they use on their phones? He was like, what? And I was like, okay, you don't know about that? Okay, I heard about hidden apps recently, actually. And hidden apps are actually this case where, they have one, for example, they might have some apps like, okay, I think it applies to both sexes, men and women. For those like, heterosexual men and women, that will be Tinder, eHarmony, and all this, dating apps. But for, I think, gay men, from what I heard, it was like, there's Grindr and Jacked. And some other names which I think I have no idea about, but supposedly the hidden apps, okay, these apps can all be hidden on the phone, such that, let's say that if the partner of that other person demands to see the phone so that he and she can check on the phone, they will not be able to discover those apps, and they won't be able to find out that their partner or their date has been actually seeing many other girls and guys or whatever, and sleeping around and screwing around. So okay, these so-called hidden apps are it's a kind of a third-party app that allows you to hide somewhere in the remote corner of the phone, such that it's not immediately detectable. But other than that, of course, it might not just be the hidden app. Sometimes narcissists actually have a third or second phone, and I know it sounds crazy, but it's perfectly possible. I mean, nowadays, with phones, we don't exactly need to just pay for a line to get the number working. We can just buy a SIM card, SIM card that we insert into a phone, and once that card is actually inserted into the phone works. So I'm not trying to say that I don't do that myself. I had to actually change my own number to avoid getting harassed by the narcissists and the ex-narcissists and the flying monkeys. But they do that a lot of times. They might actually have a few multiple phone numbers. So one phone number is actually for certain people. Okay, and the other phone numbers are for perpetuating or perpetuating their their false identities or their alternative identities where they are someone else and then they call the other supplies on that other number. So yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but it does happen. And it just kind of reminds you of that. There's a Korean drama series. What was the title of that? Oh yeah, The World of the Married. 不会写给呀. It was actually the World of the Married. So it's about this wife, this doctor who actually discovers that Dr. Jiggt, yeah, she discovered that her husband, who's supposedly a filmmaker, was actually dating someone else and having an affair with her. And on the other hand, that girl in that particular town that she was in was pregnant, has approached her in hospital, oh my goodness, for a gynecological examination, yeah, because she's a gynecologist. And of all things, she found that the neighbors next door, including the friend of the husband, the friend of the family, the man, yeah, in the neighbor, the couple, that both of them knew about the affair. They even went on outings together with her husband, and the mistress. Oh. And how did she know? She found that in the back of the car that was used by her husband, that there was an extra phone hidden somewhere. And obviously that phone was used by the husband only when he goes out. Okay, I know this is K-drama, this is Korean drama, and it sounds a bit far-fetched, but I mean that drama, The World of the Married, was adapted from a British drama series. I think was it The Smiths or the Jones or something. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's about this this upper middle class, British couple, in which case the wife finds out that her husband was also cheating, and she takes her revenge and things like that. So yeah, I mean, narcissists, the third point, they have extra phones and extra numbers you might not know, okay? And I'm not trying to scare anyone, but this is often what happens. And for those who have actually encountered narcissists, you might discover that in the case that you actually get discarded by your narcissist, or let's say that you discard and you leave a narcissist, they might actually approach you under a false account. They might follow your social media. Let's say like maybe let's just say that your husband, whom you divorced, and you don't have whom you don't share any kids with, you just realize that, oh, he's been cheating on me, I don't want to have any like a cheater on me, and then I divorce him, and then what happens is that I decided that what, he's not going to have any access to my life, so I block him after the divorce. Guess what? He'll come back online and social media as someone else. So instead, let's say that his name is let's just give me any just random name. Let's say his name is Julio, okay? And then decides, what, I need to find out what my wife is doing. So he pretends to be this man called Adrian, okay? And there on the other account, he might or might not have actually a avatar profile photo, or he might have one, but it's a false identity, and he creates a whole new thing. So he approaches you under the other alias, and he tries to chat you up, to get what is like going on. So this is what narcissists do. They can approach you under a whole new, totally different data, ID, and totally different things. And it happens a lot, actually. You'll be surprised. And I have to say that actually at least 2 years after I was approached. No, I'm not that I was discarded, not approached. After I was discarded by a narcissist ex, some random, accounts like follow me was talking and asking about things like personal training, whatever. I said I don't do personal training anymore, so I'll recommend you to my friend. You can ask them. I mean, fine, but the thing was that when that person talked to me, I didn't really realize that former, I mean, that one of the former narcissists in my life was a sick person, but that person whom I barely even saw the face, or I had not seen the face of that person. He was talking on and on. I mean, he claimed to be a male. I don't know. I had no idea. And it sounds almost as if he's like, is he even like a real person, or I mean, everything sounds so weird. And it was like, oh, you're telling me about the stuff that I think only that one ex-narcissist is probably privy to, or seems to know about. I mean, whatever they do. So I was like, wait. I'm not interested in hearing all this. This is like extra information, more than enough. When they do that, that's a sign that they are actually possibly someone else, someone you knew in the past who's pretending to be a stranger. I mean, because they're talking about things that you barely even want to hear about, and they keep on doing that. Hopefully, in the sense of getting some kind of reply or some reaction from you. I still remember it was so weird. I was in Australia. I was back in Sydney. That was in 2018 in I think August. Yeah, in August of 2018, and I was away on holiday. So in between, on some 1 or 2 days, I still had some like online classes. I was talking to one of my students who was studying university and tutoring him and talking about some things like because he was taking a course in Dante and everything. So it was something that I could teach. And it's strange because especially I remember during that time when I was actually in Hobart, Tasmania, that one person whom I barely even knew messaged me. So what I did was just simply, what do you want to talk about? I can't talk right now. I'm in Australia. I'm on holiday. Actually, I was in my hotel room in Tasmania, but I just didn't want to talk. Okay, because I know I can talk. I'm free, but why should I talk to someone whom I barely even know? And there's one thing about narcissists and social media. Social media is where they thrive. It's a kind of like a hunting ground. They prey on people. They prey on the unsuspecting people who are not informed. So I really seriously hope that everyone wises up to this. And on social media, never ever give away too much of yourself, as in too much information, like of your personal life. I mean, you can talk about things like, I just enjoyed this thing, I can just did this thing, whatever. But I mean, don't give away, like private information. And social media is actually a way by which I think they actually, even if they don't directly harass you, they can get their flying monkeys to check in on you. And I knew that I had to do that. I changed my IDs on social media, the names and all the accounts, so that people don't know the names, and except for my very good friends, or those who actually do follow me, like my followers, whom I know more or less to be honest people. This is so ridiculous. They go onto your social media, they start spamming it or sending so many unnecessary posts and emails and messages. So that's it anyway for now about narcissists and social media, and their relationship, how they manifest. And this is coming from my own personal point of view. So I mean, where possible, make sure that the security on your social media is as high as possible. I don't actually recommend setting it to a public account right now. I mean, it's with examples of accounts such as Instagram accounts or Instagram handles, or even there's some other apps like WhatsApp, whatever. Or set it to a high alert, so that like certain where certain people with certain kinds of buzzwords or certain kinds of emails, so that when they try to send you a message or something, they'll get excluded. So for me, I think that is very easy. I actually put it on a high security with certain kind of restricted list. And certain kind of words are being barred from my account, so people can't send me their emails and messages or whatever if those restricted words appear in your messages. So it's actually quite a good way of sending to a higher security. And of course, don't ever give away your personal information, your phone numbers, your address. Giving away your address, your phone numbers is a really dangerous thing, because I can guarantee you, like, there are some people who give away their phone numbers or where they live to someone just because they think, this guy or this girl is very attractive, whatever. Maybe the guy or the girl is whom they think that he or she is, but someone else might be lurking in the corner, might have seen the address, the post, and he or she could have found out about where you live, the number, and then that person could have plotted to rob you right at your home, or even go to your home and kill you. So you don't want to end up in that kind of situation. It's like really inviting someone to go and hurt you. Okay. So anyway, that's it for now, and I'm actually going off to get something to, yeah, some groceries to cook. Yeah, I just made some Napolitano, yeah, pizza dough. So I'm gonna actually yeah, get the basil and everything. So from the grocery store nearby. Okay, that's all for now, and I hope everyone has a good night. And yeah, it's actually almost 6:30, 6:40. Okay, so have a good one, everyone. Okay, bye bye.